Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Alpine stitch. It's a crochet stitch that gives a really nice texture to blankets, sweaters, hats. I've made some lovely crochet beanies with them. It's got a really nice texture there, and it's a bit like knit, so you know, nice and bouncy. It's called the Alpine stitch because if you have a look, it does look like an alpine tree, you know, a valley of alpine trees, and it's just nicer than, you know, some of the normal stitches that you use. If you can do a double crochet, then you can certainly do this stitch. So I'm just going to show you how to do that today. So first of all, you want to chain the amount that you need for your project, whether it's your blanket, and then +1. This is so you can do your single crochet row, and then once you've done your foundation single crochet row, we're just going to want to chain 2. Now this chain 2 will start as the first stitch in this pattern. It's just a repeat of a single crochet row and then double crochet and front post double crochet rows. So it's really quite easy. So that will be our first stitch, and then we're going to double crochet all the way along, and then we'll start our next row. Okay, so once you've done your double crochet row, we'll start alternating the rows now to create the alpine stitch. So if you've done your double crochet, make sure you use the last stitch on the end, otherwise it'll start to taper in a bit. So you finish your last double crochet, we're going to chain 1. This counts as your first stitch, and then we're going to do a row of single crochet all the way along. I've used a 5mm hook here for this yarn, and usually I find using a 5 or 6mm hook and yarn to match gives the best effect. You know, chunkier yarns, you can still do it. It doesn't look as defined. It certainly gives a nice bouncy texture still to the fabric or the piece. But if you want that really nice, defined looking, neat overall stitch, then I would suggest 5 or 6. Anything smaller, yep, could work as well, still look pretty nice, but obviously would take a lot longer to work up, and it seems to work much nicer with this type of yarn. So that's what I've used here. If you would like to try the pattern for the beanie that I showed you earlier, if you look in the link below, I've got a pattern there on my page, a free pattern that you can try out, so you can try out the stitch once you've checked out this video. It's really easy. Once you get the hang of it, you can just keep going and going, and you'll find that you'll want to use it, and you can sort of see a blanket or a sweater design and you'll think, actually that would look much nicer in this stitch. I tend to find that. So let's start our next row. So I finished with a single crochet, and I'm going to chain 2. Okay, so moving on to the row where we start to do the alpine stitch. Now it's very easy, you just have to remember what you did in the previous row once you go forward from here. So again, the double crochet here starts as your first stitch, so we're going to leave that one here, and on our next stitch we're going to yarn over and we're going to go down to this previous double crochet here, and we're going to do a front post double crochet. So we're going to go in to the front, around the stitch, yarn over again, pull through 2, pull through 2. So we'll be creating a double crochet, but we'll be creating it around the front post of that previous double crochet. Now for your next stitch, you're just going to do a double crochet in the stitch at the top, and then we'll just be alternating between this. So it will go front post double crochet and then just a regular double crochet, and then we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the front of the post, behind and back out the front, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2. So we're going to be popping these stitches out on the front here. You'll see probably in the second row rows, second time you've tried this, that you'll start to see it, the design coming through. If when you're going through you're wondering where your stitch is, if it's sort of pulling to the side, it would always be that stitch that's to the right of the double crochet there. So that's where you want to go into the top too. So we're going to go into the top of the chain and just do a double crochet in the previous single crochet. Then we're going to yarn over. We're going to miss that double crochet there and we're going to go into the next one. And we're going to pop that one out. So yarn over again, complete your double crochet. And we'll just be doing that all the way along. And then we'll get to the next row where we'll do a single crochet row again, and then we'll just repeat the same rows. So I'll go all the way along here. So we've just done a regular double crochet, so I'm going to the next one. I'm doing a front post, popping that stitch out. Okay, so if you just want to complete your row of those, then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so when you're just finishing up your row here, the beginning of the row and the end of the row will always just be a regular double crochet. You won't front post around here. That gives it a nice edge. So if you end on a regular double crochet there, you won't front post this one. You'll just do another double crochet there. And the same at the beginning. It will always count as the first stitch there. That just gives you the nice straight edges for your piece. So we've completed that row and we're going to chain one and we're going to do a single crochet row along the top again. Okay, so we've completed our next row of single crochet and chain two. Remember, that's going to be the first stitch of the row. And then we'll continue as we did before, but what we do this time now is every time there's a stitch that's sort of pushed back, so you've got your front posts there and you've got a stitch. You can see that the previous double crochet sort of pushed behind, so those are raised ones. That's our Alpine stitches. We're going to keep popping the behind ones forward in every row now. So we've done that's our first stitch there. So this one's forward, so we're just going to do a regular double crochet in the top of that one there. It doesn't matter if it's on this, straight after the previous row. It will look nice and neat. And then we're going to pop this one forward. So we're always bringing our stitches to the front of the fabric. So we're going to do a front post behind there. So we're going to go out in behind the front of the stitch and complete a double crochet. And then you do your regular double crochet in the top of that previous front post double crochet. And then, as you can see, this one's pushed behind. So when you're doing your pattern, always just look for the one that's pushed behind, and you know that you're bringing that one forward every time. So we'll go behind there, do our front post. The next one is in the top. It's just a regular double crochet. The next one, just check by pushing your fabric together. If those are two raised, then it's that one you want to pop forward. And once you've done that all the way along, you can start to see the fabric now sort of coming together. Let's just zoom in a bit for you there. You can start to see your Alpine stitches showing now. So we're popping all those stitches forward, and that's what we're doing in every row now. So if you just continue along with your stitches all the way to the end, then you'll do another single crochet row, and then you'll repeat this row again. So you'll be popping the stitches forward. So we'll just do another row. Okay, so you can really start to see the stitch coming together now. You can see these beautiful little stitches in between there. And it's just a pattern repeat of that then, your single crochet row, and then your row where you'll pop your stitches out with your double crochet front posts. I'll just do another one. I've zoomed in a little bit more for you as I realised that was probably a little bit too far away, so hopefully you've stuck with me there. So again, the first stitches, the chain two is our first stitch there, and this one's behind now, so this was a previous double crochet row. So we're going to pop this stitch forward, so we go in the front, around the post and out through the front again, so just a front post double crochet, and finish that off there. And then our next one's raised, so we're going to go into that chain, single crochet chain at the top, complete a double crochet, and move on to the next one, popping this stitch forward, so we're going to yarn over, we're going in to the front of the stitch, around the stitch and back out the front, yarn over again, complete your double crochet. The next stitch is a stitch that was already raised, so we just go and do a regular double crochet at the top of that single crochet row there, and the next one's pushed behind, so we're going to pop that stitch out again, in for the front, around the back of the stitch, out the front, yarn over and complete a double crochet, and that's it. So you'll just go all the way along. Make sure you don't miss your single crochet row, because obviously if you were to miss that and you were to just chain on the top, it would all sort of blend in there and you won't have these rows where it's just the raised stitches all the way along. So it's always a single crochet row and then your alpine stitch row after. So that one's raised, so we just go into the top of there. Once you've done a few rows of this, you'll know exactly what you're doing. You just look, if that one's raised, double crochet in the top. If it's pushed behind, you're doing a front post double crochet all the way along. And that is your alpine stitch. If you have any questions, or if you'd like me to do it again, or if you're stuck on any part, comment below, or you can always contact me through my page, Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere like that. I'm usually around to answer questions. So again, if you're looking to use this pattern or try it out or use this stitch, I've got a lovely pattern for the beanies here. You can find that in the link below. Very easy, very quick to work up, and they look lovely. So, you know, you could definitely see yourself wearing one of these this winter, or gift for somebody. Maybe you're going skiing, fit in perfectly on the Alpines. It's a really, really lovely finish and lots of stretch and bounce. It is really comfortable to wear, so it's lovely. So thank you for sticking with me for this tutorial. Hope you pop by again. Again, if you need to contact me or speak to me about anything or ask any questions, or it's not quite been clear enough, then just get in touch below and I will get back to you. Thank you.